And we back, and we back, and we back, and we back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SAUNAIE. I'm your host, XO. And man, happy October. I know September blew by so fast, and we looking up like, dang, it's already October. I'm happy because October, November, and December are my favorite time of the year. Fall/winter. All the holidays, all the good holidays coming around besides my birthday. But I'm ready for this month as well as the next 2 months and really finishing this year out strong. But if this is your first time listening to SAUNAIE, welcome to the show. SAUNAIE is a platform for mental health. We discuss the good, the bad, the ugly, the nitty-gritty of mental health, ways to deal with triggers. We talk about childhood trauma. We lay out different tips and tricks to help you really up your mental health, as well as being aware of your mental health, and as well as asking certain questions to the people around you who you think may be dealing with anything mentally. With that being said, this episode right here, we're going to recap some of September and our plans and goals for October. We'll be a real quick episode letting y'all know what's going on for this month, as well as the recap of last month. But first, let me kick off the show with some quotes of the day. And my first quote is, refuse to be defined by someone else's vision of what's possible. Refuse to be defined by someone else's vision of what's possible. Don't let people box you in. People will always project their limitations on you and say, oh, you can't do this, or you want to be able to do that, or you won't be able to accomplish that. And they'll just put those limitations on you. And sometimes those limitations really get a hold of us and we really start believing that we can't do certain things. But you can be defined by what somebody says of you or what somebody projects towards you, because at the end of the day, you know who you are. You know what you can accomplish. You know, if you put your head into anything and you really stay focused and disciplined and consistent on what you're trying to accomplish, you can accomplish anything without somebody putting their limitations on you. And anytime somebody's trying to box you in or put you in that limitation no prison, just tell them, like, I know what I can do. If you can't do that, just say it. Don't put your fears on me. And that's what a lot of people like doing when you lay out big dreams. Like, you may have a big dream to be the president of the United States one day. And some people are like, oh, you can't do that because you grew up in poverty or however it is. But you're like, don't put your fears or limitations on me, because I know what I can accomplish if I just stay focused on what I want to accomplish instead of letting the outside noise cloud my judgment. And that's what happens. A lot of people like to cloud your judgment with their thoughts, their fears, their projections, the limitations on you, and you can't let them get to you. You just got to shake it off. Let that negative energy pass by and stay focused on the positivity and the prosperity of where you're headed. Once again, that quote is, refuse to be defined by someone else's vision of what's possible. And my second quote is, choose consciously and wisely. You're only one choice away from changing your world. You are one decision away from changing your life. If you don't like how your life is going right now, you have the choice to change and really perfect and go where you can go, where you want to go. I was talking to one of my clients this weekend, and he was constantly bringing up negative stuff, complaining about certain things. And that's why I had to tell him, like, yo, you got to have faith in where you're going and stop letting the complaining get to you. You either can complain or you can change. You have the power to do both. Which one do you want to choose? And the majority of people like to complain about their situations instead of figuring out, how can I change the situation? Taking a step back and analyzing and writing down their goals, their dreams, their plans, and really seeing, how can I get out of this situation? Because at the end of the day, any situation that you're in, you can get out of by just putting your mind in focus and really getting some clarity on everything. Sometimes we'll have so much going on in our heads that we have to write it down. There's nothing wrong with writing down what you want or what you plan to accomplish, so you can get it out of your head and put it on paper so you can see, like, okay, now I know where I'm going, instead of having these puzzle pieces in my head. Once you write it down, you get a clearer picture of the puzzle that you're trying to create. But once again, that quote is, choose consciously and wisely. You're only one choice away from changing your world. And I'm gonna give y'all a brief break and we're gonna hop into the show. Thank y'all for tuning in to SAUNAIE. Has this ever happened to you? You've been traveling nonstop. You get to your final destination and you get hit with the worst news. We can't find your luggage. And now you're thinking to yourself, how did y'all lose my luggage? Y'all have one job and have one system to where everything should be processed and my luggage should not be lost. And I'm grateful that this hasn't happened to me simply because I use this one technique that really helps out when I go to traveling, when I'm traveling different destinations. So I can always keep track of my luggage. I use Apple AirTag. And Apple AirTag is like, I want to say, a locating device to where you can always track your luggage anywhere you are. You download the app, you put the Apple AirTag in your luggage, and you'll always be able to find your luggage no matter where it's at. You don't have to encounter these problems to where you're like, oh, I lost my luggage. I don't have no way of finding it. Well, now you do. And to use the Apple AirTag, we have the link in our show notes. You can click that link and really buy an Apple AirTag for yourself. So anytime you travel, you don't have to worry about losing your luggage. All right, let's get back to the show. Recap of September. Overall, it was a good month. We reached majority of our goals, learned some lessons, as well as created our new goals for October. I've learned as well, like when it comes to goals, we shouldn't overwhelm ourselves with having too many because we fall into like a complacency paradox. And I've been trying to set too many goals, too many out of the box goals. It's simply because it's like you want to be ahead of the competition, but you got to realize at the end of the day, you are your own competition and you're only trying to get ahead of who you were a week ago, last month, last year. And we've been making incremental progress on our goals, which I'm truly grateful for. One of the things I kind of like feel bad about was that we didn't get to start our visual aspect of the podcast this in September, but I know October we're going to do that. So it's a minor setback for a major comeback. Like I said, I've been setting too many goals and not knowing where to start. You'll have like a plan. You want to do so many things. You're like a kid in the candy shop and you're like, hold on, let me step back and see what's the main goal that I have to accomplish instead of trying to do a little bit of everything. And that's what I was realizing throughout September. And that's why I was like, all right, October, I'm gonna come with a new approach. And what I've started doing is setting really 3 big goals for the month and have some smaller ones throughout each week to help me reach those 3 big goals. And those 3 big goals I'll be discussing in the next segment of our goals and plans for October. But overall, this month of September, we released 4 episodes. The first episode, we discussed college students and their mental health and how some college students begin developing a eating disorder because of the mental health and not having the right outlets to help them when it comes to the mental health as well as when it comes to their eating habits. And the next episode we discuss is defining what is real self-care. We always hear self-care this, self-care that, self-care, but it's like, what is real self-care? And I laid out some tips on what are real self-care in that episode of defining what real self-care is. And one of them is really checking in on yourself, checking in on you and really having a day of no screens, no internet, no people, just spending that time with yourself and analyzing and seeing, how are you doing? What do you need? What direction are you headed in? Are you progressing or regressing? And really taking that time to take care of yourself, because at the end of the day, you are loved and you are needed. And we can't keep running ourselves ragged or trying to grind it out, expecting a vacation soon or something like that. When our vacation should be having that one day a week where we have their self-care days and we take care of ourselves, take care of our mental health, our physical health, our spiritual health, our financial health, and anything that we need, we just take care of within that day and not really be out there trying to serve others when we need to serve ourselves first and make sure we're completely sane for where we're going. But that was episode 2, defining what real self-care is. The third episode goes into detail about the type of children that come from toxic families. In this episode, I was blown away with the statistics and with each type that I found. I had to really take a trip down memory lane and see were any of my friends dealing with any toxic families at the time, like during elementary, during middle school, even during high school. And I'm still today thinking now, I'm like, not many of them, but maybe some hit it better than others. And really just taking a trip, take a step back and analyzing to see, like, did any friends that you had or childhood friends, did they have any toxic families or toxic traits that they've been going through that you maybe dismissed at the time, and now you look back like, damn, they did have a toxic home or toxic families or toxic anything around them, and really analyzing and knowing like, yo, maybe I should go back and check on them. Even if you haven't spoken to that person in some years, go on Facebook. Facebook got everybody on there, and really check in on the people who you grew up with. Because at the time, you probably didn't know how to handle what they were going through. But now they probably still going through it, because childhood trauma plays a huge role in adulthood. So check on your people. Always check on your people. Always check on your friends. But that episode was a good episode, and I really recommend you guys check it out if you haven't heard already. It's children that come from toxic families, and you'll be surprised about what you learn within this episode. But like I said, overall, September was a great month. I did fail to get more visuals out for you guys, but I am determined to make it happen in October, and it will happen. You guys will at least have 2 visual episodes with me and maybe an interviewee that'll be coming up. And I also have like a lot of surprises for y'all for October. I know October is really one of the best months, and Halloween is one of my favorite holidays, but overall, I got a lot of surprises for you guys throughout this month. And failure, I didn't really take it as failure. I just took it as a learning lesson when it came to some of my goals that I didn't reach. And I know how, and I re-strategize on where I need to go and achieve them next time. So anytime you feel like you're going to fail at something, it's not a failure. It's just a learning lesson that you have to learn to get better and pushed in the direction you're headed to go. As far as a grade for September for this, I give us a C+. And I'm working on an A+ for October. So a C+ overall for the podcast throughout September. But now we on to October. And October. I call it Stacktober. My 3 big goals. Number 1, I'm gonna have 3 different interviews. One interview is going to be about credit, one's going to be about mental health, and one's going to be about real estate and mental health. And a surprising one, I'm going to talk about mental health among nursing students. And I know there's a lot of nursing students that I know, and I really want to take a deep dive and see what do they go through when dealing with their college, getting the degrees, getting their masters, getting their doctorates, and seeing how they cope with everything, especially mentally. Because it's like, as a college student or even in the nursing field, you deal with a lot of things that affect your psychological health. And I want to take a deep dive in that. So that's one of the interviews I have coming up throughout October. Another goal that I have is more giveaways. I'm going to have 2 big giveaways, giving away fan gear for different people, as well as giving out any coaching tips, anything you need when coaching or strategies or anything like that. I'm giving that out, or as well as having you connect with one of my guests or one of my past guests to get some type of coaching, mentorship, or anything of that nature. But that's the second big goal that I have. And my third one is to help and serve 3 people with their mental health. Any way I can, really set them up and let them know and help them any way that they need. As far as the interviews, 3 interviews. My first interviewee is a business owner who has a credit business and helping people fix their credit and build wealth in the process. The next interview will be with the real estate, and the third is the nursing. But along with the first interview, he helps people with credit. In this interview, we're going to be covering his business, his life, his mental health. And you already know we bring back the Fab 5 questions and saying what are his top favorites. But this interview will be covering credit and how credit affects our mental health. I know that's huge. A lot of people got credit. A lot of people got credit card debt or debt of some nature. And we're going to talk about how that affects the mental health. And as far as the second interview, the real estate industry and how real estate affects us mentally. And I believe this interviewee will help us get a clear understanding of how real estate works, so we don't feel like we're going into the real estate industry blind. So with this interview, make sure y'all bring y'all notebooks. As far as the third one, mental health of nursing students. If you have anyone in the nursing field or in nursing school, this interview will be for them as well. And I'm hyped for this simply because I've always wondered how nursing students' mental health are, or how they deal with things mentally, especially that with a lot that's coming at them. So those would be my 3 interviews that I have up. The giveaways all throughout October, we're giving out some prizes, including hoodies, sweatshirts, hats, and I'll be announcing the winners at the end of each episode starting next week. So be on the lookout for that. Stay tuned, listen out. And the help and serving. As far as helping and serving, this month, I want to help you any way I can, whether it's coaching, being an accountability partner, or just being there to listen to you. Don't hesitate to reach out. Don't hesitate to ask for help, because I feel like we hesitate to ask for help because we feel like we're ashamed, or we feel like we don't need the help and we don't know how to ask for help. But it's like, always open up and asking for help, because people are here to help you and serve you. That's what we're all put on this planet to do, to help each other out in any way we can. So don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to help, and I can always connect you with somebody that can help you as well. We can't be afraid to be helped or coached. Everybody has to be coachable. If you want to grow, you have to be coachable. That's one of the lessons that I've learned throughout September. You have to be coachable in any aspect of your life, as well as if you don't have any mentors in your life, where it's a mental health mentor, or a business mentor, or a financial mentor, or a physical health mentor, or a fitness mentor, whatever it is, find those mentors in your life to help you get to that next level. They can help you avoid all the mistakes, all the hurdles that they went through, and they can save you a lot of time by having that mentor in your life. They teach you where they failed at so you can have success. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Help is always there for you. All you got to do is open up and ask for it. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. I hope y'all have a great week. I know it's going to be a fast week, but I hope you have a great week, a blessed week. Check on your people. Always check on the people around you. See how they doing. Check on yourselves as well. Don't just be going through the cycles of life. Be stuck in the rat race that you never take time to check on yourself or check on your people. Check in with yourself. Take some time for yourself. Stay positive through anything and everything. Your faith will always be tested, as well as your positivity, because when everything goes wrong, that's when a lot of people like to give up on their principles and like, F this, going back to my old ways. But stay 10 toes down. Everything's going to work out for you. Your blessings are coming. Everything's on the way. Stay positive through anything and every situation. Positivity leads to prosperity. With that being said, thank y'all. Thank y'all. And if you listen to this right now, I do want to give you something. So what I'm going to do in the show notes, I'll have my email me, and then I have a gift for you. And I appreciate y'all. I'm going to be back again. I'm thinking Friday, but for sure next Monday. Friday, I may hit y'all with a bonus episode. But with that being said, let me leave y'all with this. Not everyone will understand or approve of your journey, but that's okay. It's yours to take. Y'all have a great week.